Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Today I'm going to be doing some of these amigurumi pieces from a Crochet Cafe booklet that I bought from Amazon. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I'm going to be starting a series of Crochet Cafe. I will leave a link in the description box below if you would like to check out this book. I highly recommend. There's all these really cute food pieces in here with smiley faces, and it's adorable. So I'm going to check these out, see how the instructions are. I am making these for my goddaughter, so I've got about a month of these and we are stacked. This is stacked with a ton of goodies that I'm going to be making with you guys. Alright, so click on that notification bell so you don't miss a video, and go check out that booklet so that you can do these pieces with me. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a breakfast series, and it's consisting of this. Look at this, how cute it is, as I knock my camera and everything else. Look at this. It's got eggs, bacon, and toast. We're going to do a breakfast, and I just can't wait. So I'm not going to use any safety eyes. You can buy those at a hobby store. I have a ton of them from all the kits that I've been doing that I refuse to use the safety eyes because it is a choking hazard. So I am going to be sewing the eyes on. And of course I don't have black. Ooh. I might just separate yarn or something, or use a different color for the smile. And then this toast in particular has blush cheeks on the side, so I'm going to use yarn for that. Okay, so let's get this started. Now it says you're going to need a 3.75 millimeter hook. I don't have that. For all these food pieces here, I have a 4 to 3.5 millimeter size E, and they're looking for size F or 3.75 millimeter. So we're gonna see how that goes. So it really, you can do any crochet project with any size hook, really. It's just going to change in size, and also it needs to work well with the thickness of yarn. If your yarn is too thick, you're going to have a hard time hooking it. Alright, so for the bacon, we're going to need maroon yarn, red yarn, and cream yarn. So I'm going to try using the colors that I have already. I'm going to try so hard in this series to not need to buy any more yarn, because it's like overflowing. And oddly enough, I still need colors. So it's just really frustrating because it took me so long to get rid of my yarn over the years, and now after starting this channel I've built up another tote. But I'm going to be using these three colors. This is kind of maroonish, but whatever. Use your imagination. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my yarn here, and we are going to get right on this. Okay, so I'm doing this in right-handed. If you end up getting this book and down the road you really need a left-handed, I mean, it's the same thing, just reverse the hands. But comment below and I'll throw that onto my list. Alright, so we have to do some chains. So I'm going to repeat new stitches at least 3 times, step by step, and then thereafter I'm going to go on as normal. If you need to speed up or slow down this video, click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you can lower the volume on your device, and then there's a CC closed caption button. Alright, so we're going to start by doing a slip knot onto our hook. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your ring finger and pinky and thumb, and we're going to hold the end down here. Then you're going to take your index and middle finger and hold apart the yarn just like this. Go grab your hook, and we're going to lie it perpendicular to the yarn. So now from here you're going to go down, out, and around to get this little loop around your hook, and you can easily slide it up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. You're going to take your middle finger here and just place it right where it crosses so you can hold it in place. You can let go of your left hand, and then we're going to gather up some yarn around your finger. So from here you want to pinch the end of the yarn again, and then we're going to slide our hook closer to the thumb, and where it crosses you just want to pinch so that you can no longer move this up or down. And now we're going to yarn over, which is putting this yarn over the hook. So yarn over, and then you're going to take this strand and pull it through this loop like that, right? So from here I'm going to overhand my hook, and I'm going to repinch this end. I'm going to slide this knot towards my thumb. So try to slide it down as far as it will go. If you're stopped because the knot is too tight, then that's fine. If you're stopped because you hit your thumb, that's fine. But once you get to a stopping point, then you're going to take your thumb and your middle finger, and you're just going to pull out a little bit more. So see, I grabbed a little bit more slack from that knot. You don't need to pull it too tight because we have to have the knot. Hold the knot here and slide it up towards your hook. And so now you have this kind of space here. Alright. So now I'm going to teach you another basic stitch in crocheting. It's called a chain stitch. So what we're going to do is you're going to yarn over. That's putting this yarn over the hook. So yarn over. Then we're going to take this yarn and pull it through the loop. We're going to pull it right through here. And that is it. It's a chain. It consists of two loops, this one here and this one here. If you turn it on its side, you can see there's a back loop here. I call it the hump. I don't know if that's an official technical term for crocheting, but I just call it the hump. So we're going to do a few more of these. If you have the booklet, so these videos are going to be a supplement to the booklet. I highly recommend getting the booklet if you'd like to make any of these. But yeah, so we're going to do more of these chains. So I'll do this 2 more times with you guys. So again, yarn over, put this over the hook. Then we're going to pull this strand through the loop. And now we have 2 chains. You have your loop here and loop here, and then when you turn it on its side, you have the back humps here and here. Right, one more time with you guys. Yarn over the hook. Oops, sometimes it works better than the others. Hold on. Okay, here, over here. Alright, then we're going to pull this through this loop. And we have now 3 chains. And it looks like a braid. And then the other side, it just looks like, I don't know, something else, but it's got your humps. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now I'm just going to complete the rest of the chains that we've got to do. All right. You always want to double check to make sure you have the right number of stitches. So this is my braid. Turn it on its side. You can see all those back humps there. All right. All right. So now, oh, all right. I love this booklet already. So as you've seen in my previous crochet videos, hit the like button if you know, but the reason why I'm showing you the parts to each chain is because when we have something like this, I like to stick my hook into the back humps. This booklet, by the way, actually names this. They're called bumps in their book, which I think is so funny. So this is the first time I've ever seen an instruction do it the way that I do it, and I didn't learn it anywhere. I just, over practicing and doing projects, I really love the braid look, right? So I'm like, I don't want to mess this up, so I just figured out to just stick my hook into the back humps, and I get to retain a beautiful braid edge when it's exposed. So this is the first time I've seen a booklet think just like me, and whenever that happens, I feel a little happy about it, because sometimes I think, you know, my ways of thinking, I feel like is a little different, and sometimes not in a good way, but I'm so happy to see that. So anyway, so they're telling you that for the next row, we're going to be using the back bumps, in quotations, by the way. So really excited about that, and they have a photo showing you that, but they're using a real maroon color that it's hard to see, so hopefully you'll be able to see it with this lighter color. So all right, so from the second chain from hook, we're going to do a HDC, which is a half double crochet stitch. So let me teach you how to do a half double crochet stitch. It's one of my favorite stitches, and I'm really happy that they're using this one. So I don't know, we're starting off good. Hopefully it stays that way. So we're going to yarn over. Now second chain from hook, you just count the braids. Here's 1, here's 2. Now they have you stick these in the hump, so you have to turn it on its side, and you can see that hump there. So we're going to put our hook into that hump, and you just have to be very gentle with it. Hopefully your chains aren't tight. You can always go back and redo your chains, because if it's too tight, you won't be able to put your hook into it. But as you see here, I'm putting my hook into the back hump. You can tell because on the other side you have the two braids, the two loops for the braids. All right, so the next thing we do is we're going to yarn over. So put the yarn over the hook, and then we're going to pull this yarn through the loop, just one. All right, so now you still have 3 loops on here. Then the next thing that we're going to do is yarn over again. So this yarn over the hook, okay, and then we're going to pull through all 3 loops. So just like that. Okay, and that's our half double crochet stitch. All right, so let me show you this again. To do a HDC, half double crochet, you're going to yarn over. We're going to put our hook into the next bump or hump. We're going to yarn over again and pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay. All right, let's do another one. We're going to yarn over. You're going to stick your hook into the next bump or hump. You're going to yarn over and pull through the loop. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay. Now I like this stitch because you see how we have this braiding here? If you turn it on its back side, you can see kind of like a braid happening over here. I just like how it looks. Plus it's just bigger than a single crochet stitch, which we'll do later in this video. So when I want to do something that's a little tight knit together, a half double crochet stitch is just better for me. A double crochet stitch is too big for me, in my opinion. But anyway, so let's continue this. Follow the instruction in your booklet. Okay. And then for this first round or first row, we've done the half double crochet stitches, and then we're going to do the double crochet stitch 2 together. So you're going to see a DC 2 TOG, and that's going to probably freak you out, but it's okay, don't freak out. What we're going to do is, it's kind of doing 2 double crochet stitches but molding them into 1. So I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to yarn over. You're going to stick your hook into the next bump or hump. We're going to yarn over. You're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to stick your hook into the next hump or bump, and you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then this is where we do 2 together. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So if you can kind of see here in the madness, you have 1 double crochet stitch, another double crochet stitch, and it meets into 1 braid, 1 stitch. So that's what they mean by double crochet stitch 2 together, and then they of course abbreviate it to DC2 TOG. All right, so then after we do our DCTTOG, say that 3 times fast, we're gonna do again a set of half double crochet stitches. So let's do that now. Okay. And then once we do that, it's saying that we're going to be doing a couple of half double crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So let me show you how to do that. Okay. So we're going to put we're going to yarn over, and then we're going to put our hook into the next bump or hump. And then we're going to put 2 of these half double crochet stitches. So let me show you. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to stick your hook back into that same hump or bump that we used. And then we're going to do another half double crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So if you look at this closely, you can see that that hump just grew because it has 2 half double crochet stitches in there. So that's basically what they wanted you to do. And as you can see, all this extra is starting to create curves into our bacon. So if you're wondering what all this craziness is doing, that's what it's doing. Okay, So after we have done our half double crochet stitches in one stitch, we have to do another set of half double crochet stitches. So do those. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the next part of this instruction here. We have another DC2 TOG, so we have to do another double crochet 2 together. So I'll show you that again. Yarn over. It's funny, this thing is pilling, but it's not even the same color. That's weird. Okay. So yarn over, stick your hook into the next hump or bump. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to stick your hook into the next hump or bump. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So we have that. Now, once we complete that, we're doing half double crochet stitches for the rest of the way. Okay, so we'll do that. And after you complete this row, you're going to have a gauge of how long this bacon is going to be, and these instructions are fairly proportional to each other most of the time, so you can imagine what the toast and the eggs are going to look like, but I am really excited. This is going to be my fun time, because who doesn't like food? I mean, I'm sure some of us don't like food sometimes, but I love food, and doing this is going to be so much fun. Okay, so we've completed round 1. Oh, they want to change you to red yarn. So, let me show you how we change colors. I have a methodical way of doing this, and it's going to involve undoing the last one. I didn't read ahead. So, it's always good to read ahead. I forget. I'm sure we're all going to forget, but, you know, you just got to be patient with me. Please. And yourself. But what we're going to do is we're going to remove this hook here. Like I said, we're going to undo just 1 stitch. Okay, so remove the hook. You see how we have this now? I want you to slowly pull the loops out. And I want you to pull it all the way out till you get to, I'll show you where, this point. You have 1 loop here, you can stick your hook in there, and you have that 1 hump left or bump. You're going to take your hook and you're going to pull a longer loop out of this yarn, and I'll explain why you do that. But you just want to pull that so that loop is extra large, because we don't want to lose the stitch. This is an over exaggeration, but I know I'm not going to lose my stitch. I would really have to pull for a very long time for me to realize that I'm going to lose my stitch. So set this aside for now. We have to set up our red. So this is how I do it. You can see if the book has their way of doing it. You can go on YouTube and find easier ways to do it, but this is how I've just always done it. We're going to cast on like we did before. Use your ring, pinky, and thumb. Index and middle finger, hold your yarn apart. We're going to lay our hook perpendicular to the yarn. Then we're going to go down, out, and around. So we create a loop around our hook. We can slide it up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your middle finger and you're just going to hold it in place so that you can let go of your left. We're going to gather some yarn on your finger, some feeder yarn. Repinch the end here, and you're going to slide your hook further down close to your thumb, and where it crosses we're going to just pinch, so that you can no longer slide your hook up or down. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this strand through this loop, and then I'm going to overhand my hook like this. I'm going to repinch the end, and then I'm going to push this knot close to my thumb. We're just tightening the knot and at the same time making the most minimal waste. So I didn't mention that before, but I like to, you know, I do so many projects. I like to not waste as much yarn as best I can. Some days I'm really bad with it, but other days I try to conserve my yarn. So we've got this little bit left. I can no longer push this down. I can tighten it up just a little bit by pulling on the ends here. I'm going to grab the knot and I'm going to slide it towards the hook. All right, you want to leave enough room here because we're going to slide this off and set it aside for now. We're going to go pick up our project again and put your hook into that large loop, and we're going to tighten it with our feeder yarn. Okay, back to normal stance here. All right, now we're going to finish our last half double crochet stitch. So you want to yarn over, put in your hook into the last hump or bump. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through the loop. And then instead of using the maroon yarn, you can set your feeder yarn aside, get it out of the way. I'm holding it down with my fingers here. I'm going to grab my red, slip that on. You can even tighten it up a little bit. Not too much, you still need it to slide on the hook. Alright, so I gathered up some yarn just for more control for me. And then we're going to pull this red through all of the 3 loops here, just like that. Okay. So now we have our changed yarn to red. Okay, so now we just have to chain 1 as the instructions state. So yarn over, pull up a loop, that's our chain 1, and then you turn. So we're going to turn this entire project. Now, what to do with this? We're going to end up, let me be right back. I want to see if the rows work out. That way we don't have to cut and redo it. We can just string it along, you know, like so many things we shouldn't in our life. All right, okay, we're good. So I just checked how the rows are going to go. We don't have to cut this off. What we are going to do is bring this up the rows as we go till we turn back to maroon, because we have to use maroon again in round 4 or row 4. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we turned, now we have to do row 2, and we're going to do single crochet stitches, and I'm going to teach you how to do that, and we're going to be advanced a little bit here because we also have to bring this maroon up the row. See how I'm like pulling it up this way? We're going to crochet this in place. So what we're going to do, you're going to grab your you're going to take your hook here. You want to make sure that this is parallel to your feeder yarn. The maroon is parallel, so it's running right next to each other. And at the same time too, you know, just to get this out of the way, once you get it parallel, take your maroon yarn and put it over your hook. So I'll slowly do this with you. Okay, so here's our hook, here's our feeder yarn, here's our maroon yarn. It's down here. We just want to pull it up right next to this hook and then out to the side and back. Okay, so we just scaled this yarn up the row, and it's in between the red right now. All right, once you do that, and you can pause it here if you just need to rewind back. but we're going to do a single crochet stitch. So, alright, so to do a single crochet stitch, you want to stick your hook into the first stitch here. Okay, we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, and that is it. That's, like I said, the single crochet stitch is simple, it's short. It's going to take you forever if you use single crochet stitches to get to a really tall piece of knitted, a crocheted, you know, pattern or swatch or whatever. But anyway, so let's do this again. Into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through both loops. Okay, so let's do this one more time, you guys, and see you have a nice braid here, and see we kind of climbed that maroon up and you can't really tell. Okay, so stick your hook into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. All right, so once we're here, we're going to do a decreasing stitch, you guys. So I'm going to show you how to do a decreasing stitch. All right, so what we're going to do, you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops, right? You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So we pretty much took 2 stitches and made them into 1. So that's a decreasing stitch. Alright, so now we have to go back doing our single crochet stitches. You can rewind the video if you need to go step by step again. But I'm just going to move forward with the single crochet stitches. And next to the chain stitch, this is probably another basic stitch in crocheting. They use it a lot for amigurumi. If you do, there's another pill. Did this come from somewhere? So if you've ever done amigurumi, you definitely know the single crochet stitch very well. Alright, so after we've done our single crochet stitches, we have to do an increasing stitch. So an increasing stitch is basically putting 2, in this case, 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to put 2 single crochet stitches in here. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then stick your hook back into that same stitch we just used. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Alright, so now that we've done an increasing stitch, we're going to go back to doing our single crochet stitches. So do that now. Okay, then we're going to get back to doing a decreasing stitch. I'll show you again how to do a decreasing stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so now we're going to finish the rest of the way with single crochet stitches. So let's do that now. And I hope you have like better colors than I do, because right now, click that like button if you're Filipino. I am giving this to my Filipino goddaughter. This looks like tocino, if you want to look it up, but the marinade that they put the meat in, it has this pinkish color. So let's just call this tocino. I'm gonna still call it bacon. I'm just saying. All right. I read ahead. I'm really bad at reading ahead. Sorry, guys. So we're changing to cream yarn now, but I'm gonna undo the last one because we have to change colors. Sorry. Don't hate me. So gently pull, and you're gonna pull it to where? I'll show you. It's like this. So you have your loop on top of the last stitch here. We have one more left. One more stitch. One more single crochet stitch to do. Again, we're gonna pull this over large loop, set the project aside. This time we're gonna end up cutting the red. So I'll show you how to do that. But here is my cream colored yarn. Okay. And then we're gonna cast this on. So ring finger, pinky, thumb, index, middle finger, hold it apart. Take your hook, lie it perpendicular to the yarn, go down, out, and around. So you can slide it up and down. Take your middle finger and hold it where it crosses. Let go of your left. Grab some feeder yarn here. Repinch the end. Slide your hook closer to the end of the yarn and then pinch where it crosses so you can no longer slide it up and down. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this through the loop. Now we're going to overhand our hook. You're going to repinch this end here and I'm going to push the knot towards the thumb. Okay. And then just for an extra pull, you can pull this end piece a little bit more, make that knot a little nice and taut. Right, then I'm going to grab the knot, pull it close to the hook, leave some room, because we're going to slip this off like this. Then we're going to grab our project, put your hook back into the big loop. You're going to pull it so that it's tight again, and then we're going to continue on our last single crochet stitch. So stick your hook into the last stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. Now instead of using the red, you're going to put this aside. You can hold it with your fingers here out of the way. You're going to slip on your cream. You can tighten up the loop a little bit if you need. But I'm going to pull this loop through these two. So do that now. So now we change to our cream. Now, we're not going to be doing red again. So I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to cut about 1 inch or so. And what I want to do is tie this maybe like a double knot around the cream color. So just tie the red around the cream a couple times. The knot shouldn't be too tight. We're gonna crochet into the project, so don't worry about this piece that's floating in the air now. But we're gonna pick up our project again, grab some feeder yarn, and then we're gonna continue on with our instructions. So we have to chain 1 and turn. All right, so chain 1 and turn. All right, now we have to do single crochet stitches. So what we're going to do with this piece, we're going to crochet it into the project so we can hide it. So basically what that means is lining up this excess piece to your stitches, because when we stick our hook into the stitch, we want to make sure that our hook goes underneath that excess piece. Let's go closer. You see how this excess piece is just floating in the wind? If you put your hook into the next stitch, you also want to put your hook underneath that excess piece. Okay. So let's continue doing our single crochet stitches. Let's use top view so you can see here. I have my stitch, and then I have that excess piece. It's floating right over the hook, which is exactly what we need to crochet this together. So we're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Did I put that in the right one? I actually didn't. Make sure you put your hooks into the right stitch. So the first stitch is back here. I skipped one by accident. So you still want to put your hook underneath that excess piece, and you want to stick your hook into the first stitch. Oops. It's a little, the first one is always hard to see because you have the changing of color and it's bulky over there. All right. So you see, I had stuck my hook into this one. It should have been that one. But layer excess piece over the hook. We're going to yarn over. You're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So we did a single crochet stitch. Let's continue again. Stick your hook into the next stitch. Make sure you go under that excess piece. And make sure it's lying across your hook now. So yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we're basically crocheting this excess piece inside the stitch so that it hides. So that's how you normally would hide anything that, you know, when changing colors or you know, combining 2 pieces together. All right, so let's do it again. Stick your hook into the next stitch. All right, have this lying on top, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. All right, so now we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So I'll do this one more time with you guys. So stick your hook into the next stitch, still have that excess piece on top of your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to go into the next stitch over, put in your hook, make sure this excess piece is still floating on top of your hook as well. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's a decreasing stitch. Now continue with your set of single crochet stitches as written in the instruction. I was going to say instruction manual. It pretty much is an instruction manual. So let's continue doing that. And if you have, see, I kind of finished up that, covering up that excess piece. If you have little bits sticking out, then you can trim those down. But you want a nice bulk of your excess piece to be hidden. That also keeps it from unraveling. Should it unravel? You never know. Highly unlikely, but you never know. All right. So let's continue our single crochet stitches. And then after that, we're going to do an increasing stitch. So I'll show you that again. That's putting 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So stick your hook into this stitch, and we're going to put 2 single crochet stitches. 1, stick your hook back in, and second one. Okay, so you can probably see it here. We have 2 single crochet stitches coming out of that 1 stitch. All right, after you do that, we're going to go back to doing our single crochet stitches. Okay, and then we have to do a decreasing stitch. Okay, and then we're going to finish off doing the rest of the single crochet stitches. Okay, I have 1 more single crochet stitch and I didn't forget. Yay. we have to trail this up to the next row because we're going to be using maroon after this. So stick your hook into the next stitch or the last stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So instead of using the white, you're going to set this aside and you're going to pick up the maroon. You're going to yarn over and pull that through the 2 loops, and we've cleanly this time changed to maroon. So like we did with the red, we're going to cut this off about 1 inch or so. I'm going to tie this twice, not too tight knots, around the maroon. And then we're just going to crochet the excess piece like we did with the red. So let me detangle my red, get out of here. All right, and we're going to move on to the maroon. So this is actually the last row, you guys. We just made bacon, or in this case tocino, because it looks so pink. All right. Okay, so we have to chain 1 and turn. So yarn over and chain 1, turn. So now we're going to do a half double crochet stitch, and we're doing a set of those. So yarn over, again, put your hook underneath that excess piece. We're also going to hit the first stitch. Okay, and do your half double crochet stitch. All right, let's continue that, keeping your hook underneath that excess piece. Oops, I forgot to yarn over. Okay. Oh, I keep forgetting to yarn over. Once you get in single crochet mode, you forget how to, you're supposed to do other stuff for other types of stitches, because single crochet stitch is so simple. And then I do a lot of them for amigurumi, so it's like automatic. All right, so after you do your half double crochet stitches, we're going to do a double crochet stitch 2 together. So let me just show you this one more time. So yarn over, stick your hook in the stitch and under that excess piece. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and stick your hook into the next stitch with the excess piece over the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's our double crochet stitch. So then we have to do a set of half double crochet stitches. So let's do that now. Okay. And then after we do that, we're going to do 2 half double crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So here's 1, and then we're going to put in another one, stick it in the same loop, same stitch. All right. Then we're going to do another set of half double crochet stitches. Okay. Then we're going to do double crochet 2 together. and then we're gonna do the rest half double crochet stitches. Okay, so now it says to leave, we're gonna fasten this off, and we need to leave a tail for sewing. Really? Oh, okay, we have to make 2 of these. So I don't know if we're sewing all the way around, so I'm just gonna make sure I have enough to sew all the way around. And I don't know if there's a trick to doing it. I'm just doubling this up. If you know a trick to know exactly how much you need for sewing, by all means leave the comment below. But let me show you how to fasten off. So I cut my tail for sewing, but this is how you fasten off. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this loop through this one, but you're going to pull it all the way out. So all the way out. All right, and I'm going to tighten this up. All right, so here's your bacon. Hopefully yours looks like bacon. This is one side, so it looks like we're going to make 2 of these. So you have to make 2 of these. We're going to sew them back to back, I guess, to give it some thickness. It's gonna have some edging when we sew it together, so it's gonna look pretty cool. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna crochet another one off camera. When we come back, I'm gonna have both done magically, and then I'll show you how to sew it on together. But first we have to get the face on one of the sides of these bacon pieces. So if you don't have it already, well, this will all be in the same video, so you won't have time, but I'm gonna sew the eyes and the mouth on. I'm not going to use the safety eyes because this is going to a toddler, and I don't want any choking whatsoever with this with anything I give this toddler. Anyway, all right, I'll be right back. All right, so I made the second piece here. I'm not too sure how this is gonna go, but it's saying to fasten off, leave a tail for sewing, and add safety eyes, placing one between rows 1 and 2, about 5 stitches from the edge, placing the second eye between rows 3 and 4. So on the mouth, only add eyes and mouth to 1 slice. All right, so I'm guessing we have to line these up, so I want to make sure I put it in the right side, you know? So I think we're gonna, let's use this one. And I'm gonna be using, I don't have safety eye, I do have safety eyes, but I don't use them. I should probably put them in a packet in a giveaway, but I'm gonna be using embroidery floss. I don't have black either because I use a lot of black in the videos that I do. So I'm going to use this one. This kind of looks like, you know, the spots of the bacon that just don't get cooked very well. It's usually the fat. So I'm going to use this to make the eyes and the mouth. Okay. This off. I'm going to pull out a needle. This is a plastic needle, so I would recommend getting one. Try to avoid any metal ones. You'll get poked, you know, with the metal one. You'll still get poked with the plastic one, but the metal one will pierce your skin, I can imagine. This one I got from a crochet kit. But we're going to put this between rows 1 and 2 and then 5 stitches down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go up and around stitch 5. I am going to leave myself some tail piece so I can tie this off later. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a couple of passes through this to make the eye. It's, you know, it's kind of not ideal, but this is definitely worth doing if you intend on giving this to your pet or a little child. You don't want them to choke on those plastic pieces. I am very tempted most of the time to just stick it on the eyes because they look so much better than me doing this, but I do feel relief when I do give these, especially to my like I said, I'm making these for my godchild, so I don't have to worry about if she's gonna be choking on these down the road. So, and I guess is gonna need a lot of passes, so do as many as you need to do. If you want to make them more round, I mean, I'm not a sewer, so, you know, I don't know how I can help you with that, but I can kind of try. I'm going to use the other pieces of yarn out here to maybe shape the eye. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Does it look like an eye? Not so much. But it is what it is. Alright, so, and then it says from 4 to 5, so from here to here, count down 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do the same thing here, we're going to go around this 5th stitch here. Then I'm going to attempt to make it round. Okay. I don't know. And then we have to do the mouth. So on the mouth, it doesn't really say, but looking at the photo, it's kind of in between here. So I'm going to try to stick this. And then we're going to come in on this side here. And I'm going to leave some slack so that I can come in here, and we're going to stretch this over. And I'm going to go back into that same spot. Okay, so we have our smiley. Maybe we'll do this one more time. It's a little thin line, so we've got a knot in. But comment below, let me know how you did with this. I might have put that smiley a little too high, but I don't know. Okay. we go. Nice bold smile for the bacon. Alright, then we can flip this upside down, and I'm going to tie 2 knots around this. I'm going to cut off that piece. Alright, so we've got our bacon with the smiley face. Listen, it is what it is. Okay, then we have to line up the pieces and weave the tail end through it. So it says make sure go through the stitches and not over them. Okay, so we're gonna do some back stitches, I think it's called, and I'll show you what that is. So we have to make sure we line these up. I guess it worked out. Yeah. I'm going to tuck this in too. Alright, so we're going to go stitch for stitch here, and they want you to go through it. So when we go, what that means is, so I lined it up, putting the needle through both stitches. Now they don't want you to go over it like that. They want you to go, I think it's called a back stitch in sewing, where you just cross into the next stitch over and do one of these. So we're just going to continue to do that. But meanwhile, tuck in any pieces that you don't want shown. The knot pieces that I made are a little too short here, so I can trim that or just leave it. Oops. Hit my light there. So when you get up to the top, this is going to be easier because you can see the stitches. The sides of the bacon are going to be tougher because there's not really a stitch to see. But this is what they mean by that. So you can expose that really nice edging. I like this book a lot already. We just did one in this series, and it already thinks like me, where every detail counts. So if you can leave edging nice like this, it just makes your project look so much more complicated than it really is, you know. So comment below, let me know how it went. If you don't have this book yet, again, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. I highly recommend this book. This is the first project that we did, and so far so great. Like, the other projects in the book have these super ultra cute snacks you can create. And if you do have a little one, you know, you can go out and buy those Fisher Price grocery store toys, but one that's probably more expensive than doing this. You can make it your own. You can turn it into a keepsake and pass it down. These are soft. You can make them out of plushy yarn, so you can make it extra soft. And you know, with no magic eyes, no safety eyes, you can make it safe for whoever you're giving this to. So I really hope that they end up liking this. My goddaughter ends up liking this. I think she's still under 2. She's gonna be 2. And I don't know much about babies, unfortunately, but I hope they like this stuff at 2. So We do have to make 2 of these, so I am only showing the one bacon in this video. You can replay this whole video to make the second piece of bacon. When we're at the end of this breakfast series, I'm going to be displaying all of my breakfast meal pieces to you guys. So you'll see all that in the end, because I think we have, I don't know if we have 2 toasts, but we might have 2 eggs. I don't know if there's 2 of everything. I mean, for me, I like to have, well, I would love to have 4 pieces of bacon. But I would like to have 2 pieces of bacon, I guess, 2 eggs, and 2 toast. That's what I like. 2s of everything. This is so cute. I guess they want you to double this up to make it a thick piece. This is a thick cut piece of bacon. If you haven't shopped for bacon, they've got thick cut, thin cut, regular cut, and then they have all these other flavors and stuff. I mean, yeah, if you couldn't tell, I like bacon, so click that like button if you like bacon. Alright, so we're already all the way around. I'm going to create my knot somehow. So stick this back in. Right. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is stick my needle into the project. You can feel it going in between. You want it to go in between the slices. Make it come out through the other side somewhere, anywhere. Okay, and what I'm going to do is straighten this out, do a little tug. What I'm going to do is cut this piece very short, close to the project, so that way when I stretch this out, it'll tuck itself inside, and we got our first piece of bacon. And you can kind of consider this hair, but I'm going to trim it. I think there was one other spot that had, oh, maybe I covered it, or maybe it disappeared. Oh, there it is, but it's too short now. I stretched it out. Alright, so first piece done. I'm going to do the second one off camera, and then when we come back, we're going to be doing, it looks like the egg, and it said egg. I don't know if we're making 2, maybe 1. So we'll be making the egg, and then after that the toast, and that will be for our breakfast series. There's no real schedule. I'm just going to try to pump this out because, again, I want to do 3 meals. It's actually breakfast, lunch, snack, or breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner, and dessert. Ooh, that's 5. So I'm going to be very busy till the end of this month. So click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Again, I hope you get this book. This is such a fun book to me, at least. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. But thank you guys so much for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.